Can tell the AI to pretty much create anything, and it's horrendous, some of the things that we're seeing out there.
A little more than a year into his term, Idaho Attorney General Raul Labrador has built a brand around his Internet Crimes Against Children unit. It's a group focused on finding child predators in our state and prosecuting them to the fullest extent. But the AG's office says some of these people aren't just exploiting children, they're also taking advantage of a loophole in the law. Sure, there's a fun side to artificial intelligence where someone can say, generate an image of, I don't know, how about Buster Bronco surfing in Hawaii? There you go. I know that isn't him, but obviously you get what you pay for. It's a free service. There's also a dark side, though, to AI, where it can and is being used to generate pornographic images all across the internet, and in some cases, child pornography. Along with attorneys general from all 50 states, Labrador says the feds need to do something about it. And today at the State House, a pair of Idaho lawmakers say it's time Idaho does something about it, too. Here's Andrew Bartline.
The tone turning through the House Judiciary and Rules Committee found footing before wasting even a single day of the young session.
We're going at this hard because we want to be out of here by the end of March.
Promptly sending the committee head,
Chairman Skog,
to the hot seat.
when you're ready.
We have a problem with artificial intelligence where you can now look at an image and it looks like a real child, and you can't tell a difference in child pornography of a real child or it's artificial.
Under current state law, AI-generated child pornography is not included in the list of banned exploitive materials.
If it's AI, it's no crime.
Republican Representative Bruce Scott says child predators can and do use this as a loophole.
So this is what this law hopefully takes care of, is to criminalize depictions of children where you can't tell if that's a real child or not as child porn.
That's because AI gets better the more it learns. Like most applications, AI needs real content to learn from and replicate, meaning real child porn is used to create the AI content.
Clearly, child pornography is evil, and it's our job to restrain it.
Idaho Attorney General Raul Labrador flagged this concern last summer. He signed a letter with all 50 states and several U.S. territories to ask for federal help in an ever-changing landscape.
This is going to get a lot worse before it gets better if we don't do something now, and we'll probably still continue to play catch-up.
The bill actually catches the state up on several fronts and knots multiple loose ends. That includes protections for law enforcement to do their jobs.
Technically, right now, our ICAC investigators, Idaho Crimes Against Children, they could be in possession of this while they investigate it, and they could technically be prosecuted. And so this clears that up.
Skog sponsoring the bill alongside fellow Republican Representative Dory Healy. They want to make artificial child pornography possession a felony.
Does it have to be a complete generated AI image of the entire person, or does it also cover partial AI of a person?
If it appears to be an actual child, this bill covers that. And there's an exceptions for cartoons and drawings. Those don't apply.
Judiciary and Rules is following a strong track record.
Last year, I think every bill we passed out of this committee became law.
And setting the stage today for an early parallel push.
This should be very bipartisan. I've had both Democrats and Republicans say, please run this bill. And we are.
The bill is officially printed, which just means it can now be considered before the committee, and if it goes through the committee, it's then taken to the House floor. And at face value, it's not necessarily a high threshold to get printed. I've personally heard lawmakers say on record they'll vote to print just about any bill, even if they don't like it, because any idea that's thought out deserves a discussion. As for this bill, Brian, we'll see where that conversation drifts. You could see there's a handful of questions in committee, people curious about it, and as Representative Skog says, he does not believe this should be a partisan issue.
Well, there still seems like a judgment call when it comes to prosecuting these cases, even with this bill, because it has to be deemed like realistic enough. Is that correct?
From what he has seen, he's been shown things by state agencies, and of course not child pornography, but
right.
What AI is capable of. And he says he cannot discern what is real from what is fake. And I imagine those are the cases that this would target. I don't know how explicitly written that is, but that is the main issue.
Okay. Thanks, Andrew.